What is going on, my little Zouplets? And huge news has happened over the Labor Day weekend. Ginormous news, ground-shaking news, news that many people think is either going to make World of Warships better or it's the worst thing to ever happen. And yes, that's the much-hyped carrier rework. How did we get to this point? Well, some jackass decided to break NDA and leak it to another jackass who decided that it was in his best interest to post it for the entire community. And yes, I am saying these people are jackasses, and I stand by that because when you do that, when you break NDA, you're screwing a bunch of people over and creating a lot of work for many other people. Really, it's not fair to the super testers out there doing the right thing and abiding by the rules. But it's happened, and it's forced Wargaming's hand to unveil the carrier rework to the world. And that's just what they did. For those of you that have not seen it yet or missed the podcast with Sub Octavian and Mr. Conway, this is video that they showed from that stream. This is the new carrier gameplay. You are watching it right now. This is exactly what they showed. Now, I've known about these changes for quite some time, and I've been very excited about them. A lot of the community contributors that were invited out to St. Petersburg actually saw this earlier this year. I was invited, but I couldn't go, so while I did not get to see it, I've known about what the changes exactly are, and I've been very, very excited about it. And now you actually get to see it. You get to see it firsthand. You're watching it right now. And I can tell you from watching the stream happen, a lot of players are really excited. Yes, there's a vocal few that are just rabble-rousing just for the sake of it. And yes, I'm sure there's a few CV players out there that are unimpressed by this, but I think by and large this is good for the whole because only a small portion of players actually play CVs right now. It's minuscule compared to the population. So if this gets people interested in carriers and more people playing at a similar level of gameplay, I think that's great for the game. So, 3 different types of squadrons you're watching right here: torpedo bombers, dive bombers, and fighters. Torpedo bombers appear to work very much the way they always have, except now you have direct control over the airplanes. You use WASD hacks to actually control the planes into their flight path where you drop your torpedoes. You can also see that you have a lot more planes in your squadron, though you're not firing all your torpedoes at one time. Now, one of the things that the developer said is that you have unlimited airplanes, though as time goes on, if you launch them very, very quickly, like if they get destroyed and you got to put another one back up, you're going to have to wait a little longer between sorties. This is very cool, though. I really, really like this. So moving on to the dive bombers. As I said, torpedo bomber mechanics seem to appear pretty much the same. You've got your narrow drop path, and if you're getting fired at, that widens out a little bit. The dive bombers are actually a little unique, and when you're going into your flight path, you actually climb into the sky a little bit before your dive, and while you're diving you can make micro adjustments to where you're going to drop those bombs. I think that's really neat. I think it looks neat. I think it will play pretty neat, so I'm excited about that as well. Now the biggest change is going to be with the fighters. The fighters aren't going to play how you're used to them playing. The focus, according to Wargaming, is not on plane to plane. It's plane to ship solely, so you're not going to have to worry about your fighters taking out other aircraft or other fighters or that type of thing. That's gone. It's not happening anymore. The focus is solely on ship and airplane engagement, for better or for worse. Fighters are not traditional fighters anymore. They're going to carry rockets. And while some of you might be saying rockets, well, that doesn't make sense for a World War II game. Yes, airplanes did have rockets in World War II. And if my memory serves me correct, there was a plane-to-plane rocket kill as well, though I might be a little off on my history. Again, I've got a lot of history stored up in that giant noggin of mine, and you know, I might be wrong, but there were definitely rockets on airplanes in World War II, and the gameplay shows how this is going to work. You line your planes up, you fire them, and a ton of rockets just fly at ships. Now, it looks kind of scary, but it's not doing a lot of damage at all. However, on destroyers, it does have the ability to do a lot of damage, and I think these fighters are going to be a very good anti-destroyer weapon. I know some of you right now are probably shaking your heads, as if destroyers need anything more to compete against. Wargaming must absolutely hate destroyers. Well, again, this is in the early stages. This stuff is not being rushed out. It's been worked on for a while. They're going to continue working on it, and I'm sure they would have absolutely loved to show you something a little more polished, but again, like I was saying, their hand was kind of forced because a couple of rogue actors decided to leak everything, and they had to put this out there for you all to see to kind of squash and quell rumors that might be popping up. So, another thing I want to point out now that you've seen the 3 different types of squadrons and how they handle, one thing that I am absolutely digging right now that I think is just awesome and absolutely beautiful is the anti-aircraft effects. Wow! Insane! You get that nice behind the squadron view as you're leading your planes in, and then it just erupts. Anti-aircraft all over the place. I mean, it legit looks like it would have looked in World War II for a plane making an approach on a battleship like Yamato or something like that. It just erupts, and I really hope that makes it into the final version. Anyhow, like I said, I am happy this is happening. I think it's a good thing. For those of you that are on the fence or don't think it is, I just ask that you wait to play it, wait to see it, give it a chance. Just give it a chance. You know, if it doesn't stack up to what we hope it does, then we can go from there. But give this a chance. I really think this is what carrier play needs. I think this is a good thing, and I think this is healthy for the game in the long run. So from what I've seen so far, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed, and I'm very optimistic about the direction that CVs are going. Anyhow, guys, let me know what you think. What do you think of this gameplay? What do you think about where CVs are headed? Is this good or is this bad? I'm interested to know. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. More big things on the horizon. Zoop out.